Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk to the manager. Brad Ausmus joins us. The three-dimensional service group brings us Brad Ausmus, prototype production proven. Visit the number, threedimensional.com. What's up, Brad? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How about you? I haven't talked to you in a while. You were gone last time I was.
Yeah, I was gone. Yeah, you got a little bit of a break.
He gets Leach today too, though. It's good.
The stats are what they are, Brad. This team has given up 96 runs in 12 games. I mean,
yeah.
How miserable is the pitching right now, and what do you do?
Well, it's not fun. It's not fun, especially, when you're giving up a bunch of runs early in the game and it kind of knocks you back on your heels. It kind of sucks the energy out of the club when you're down 7 runs after 4 innings or so. But the truth is, we got to throw strikes. We got to get ahead of hitters. We've given up way too many home runs recently, and that's those two issues are the main reason. All those numbers you just threw at me are the problem. You get behind hitters, they get into hitters counts. You walk guys, you're putting them on base in front of hitters who get into hitters counts, and then you end up giving up tons of runs. You give up tons of runs, you don't win games.
And I know, Fulmer has not been as good as he was earlier in the season, and Verlander, for the most part, has been great. But other than those two, it's like you're almost playing Russian roulette, whoever you throw in there to start.
Yeah, Zim was on a stretch there for a while, but he struggled his last few outings. Matthew Boyd struggled with his command his last, it's like 4 or 5 outings now. And it really just, like I said, boils down to strikes. Fulmer was actually pitched outstanding against the Dodgers his last outing.
Right.
He goes for us today, and you certainly feel like anytime Michael Fulmer and then Verlander goes tomorrow in Chicago, you feel like when they take them out, you always have a chance to win.
Well, what is it about Zimmerman that's 3 straight games that he's given up 7 earned runs? Is it just command or is it physical again? What do you think it is?
He says he's all right physically. For me, it's always kind of been the breaking balls with him. When he has, especially the slider, when he has the breaking balls and when he has the slider in particular, and it has that good downward action, he's much more effective. When the slider is flat and stays in the zone, it's much more hittable, and it actually is much more drivable, quite frankly.
Brad, and I've talked about this with you and with the guys themselves in the clubhouse over the last several months. You look at a guy like Zimmerman. I know Norris is hurt, but Matt Boyd as well. They really are internalizing these struggles. And as a manager, you can go out there and talk to them. You can talk to them, out of the clubhouse and try to give them the best advice you can. But what do you do with these guys? Because they're taking this seriously. It hurts them to underperform. But what do you say when they struggle the way they are right now?
You're absolutely right. They do internalize. They want to be good, and they don't want to let their teammates down. They don't want to let the fans down. They want to win baseball games. And I actually had without naming him, one of the pitchers came up to me and more or less apologized for how he had been pitching and wanted, felt like I was, if I was causing any problems, if he was causing any problems for me with his performance, he wanted to apologize. And the truth is, if the effort is there, you're not always going to have the results, especially if you're talking about a young pitcher. There's going to be ups and downs. But if the effort is there, there's really not much you can do other than try to help them get through it and help them get better.
How is this season different for you than 2015 when you guys are out of it at this point?
Well, it's similar in the sense, we started trading guys at the deadline. That in 2015 we traded David Price, Soria, Cespedes. And this year we trade Alex, Justin Wilson, and of course JD prior to the deadline, before the deadline. So in that sense, it's serious, and it takes a little bit of wind out of your sail. But the truth is, we've, as a group, even prior to the deadline, and I've said this, we kind of put Al in a position where he had to make those trades. We underperformed for whatever reason, guys having down years or like I said, for whatever reason or a multitude of reasons. So you got to do your best now to put your nose to the grindstone. You still have pride in the job you do, and you still have to win baseball games. So you go out and do that.
You have September call-ups coming up in a week or so. How do you handle that? How many do you want on this team? And is it different because the team seems to be headed for a rebuild? You want to get these young guys some major league experience?
we just met about September call-ups this homestand, and we haven't finalized the list. There'll be some guys that'll be brought up. Some for you always could use a third catcher, some arms in the bullpen, especially the way the pitching's been going recently. We need guys down there because we don't want to burn people's arms out. And there'll be a couple position players that come up that some you want to look at, and actually a couple you want to look at. You want to see them play, but we still want to win games. So we're still gonna, for the most part, you're gonna see Ian Kinsler, you're gonna see Miguel Cabrera, you're gonna see Jose Iglesias the vast majority of time, and then we'll plug some of these young players in and give opportunities when we think they can succeed.
Yeah, Brad, you touched on this. I mean, 37 games left. We all know it's frustrating, and Stoney brought up those rough numbers of how many runs you guys have given up. But it seems like this team is not, the locker room hasn't been lost. They're still fighting in a lot of these games, and it's not like this team doesn't have things to try to prove the rest of the year. For you as the manager, when you look at these last 37 games, and obviously September call-ups as well to see some of the young guys, what is the focus for you to end this season the best you guys can?
Well, it's just like I said, we want to win. You can't complain about guys when they go about their business the right way and they're playing the game for the right reasons. And we have a lot of veterans in there that do that. So, you got Ian Kinsler and Miguel Cabrera. They still go out there. They take pride in what they do, regardless of what the results are. And they've been through it enough, both the ups and the downs, to understand. And I say ups and downs as a team and as an individual. And they understand you still have a job to do, and they're getting paid a lot of money to do it. So as long as the veteran guys do that, the young guys fall in line, and they're still busting their butts, or they're hustling down the line, and there's going to be mistakes and there's going to be some losses, but you got to go about your business the right way, and that's what they're doing.
Al Avila told us on Monday, still evaluating your situation. You just go about your business same as usual.
Yeah, I've never worried about it. It's never been an issue. I said from day one in Chicago, someone brought up my contract situation. They signed me to a 3-year deal with an option. They pick up the option, so it's a 4-year deal. I'll do my job the way I'm supposed to do my job, and until they tell me not to do it anymore.
Final thing, you probably know about it, obviously. Floyd Mayweather, Colin McGregor. Who you got? Are you intrigued by this?
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
I'm not a big fight fan, but I am intrigued by this. I just don't see how Mayweather can lose. He's boxed his whole life. I don't see how he could lose. But again, I'm not a big fight fan, so maybe there's something more to it than I know.
No, Brad, you're right. Mayweather in the 3rd or 4th round, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Did you ever participate in Golden Gloves or anything? Were you ever a pugilist growing up or anything?
No, I didn't do any of that. I was basically basketball and baseball my whole life.
All right. Brad, thanks a lot.
Thanks,
we'll
Brad.
talk to you soon.